I've met with each of you personally in your chambers. I've invited all of you to my office. I appreciate the four of you, Supervisor Gardia, Supervisor Canepa, Supervisor Ding, and Supervisor Rickman, for coming to my office and meeting with my people who serve your county. Supervisor Dellawall, I think it's a shame and a disgrace that you failed to come visit us, and you and your staff hid from numerous requests to come attend our office. And in our meeting that I had with you in your office, I could tell you were sincerely disconnected and uninterested. Chair Dellawall, I'm the county's largest non-union general contracting employer. I believe I deserve an opportunity to meet with you at my office and for my team to see you, for you to walk the halls of my building and see the impact of your potential decision here. Thank you.
All right, Ryan, today, interesting day. You had to take time out of building and running the company to go and defend your right to work in San Joaquin County. Did a great job, by the way.
Thank you, appreciate it.
But there is a threat out there across California and even in San Joaquin County where elected officials are attempting to make it harder for companies like yours, established local, employing local worker companies, to make it harder to bid taxpayer-funded projects. So tell me what that means when you hear PLA in San Joaquin County, what that means to a company like yours.
Sure. Yeah, we've been working with ABC NorCal and the coalition here for the last several years and tracking these PLAs, and I personally remain pretty active and involved in voicing my opposition to them, to our local council members and supervisors, et cetera. So PLA, CWTA, however they mask it. What's important, I think, for our county to understand it as the county's largest non-union general contracting employer with over 100 employees. Wow. I started and founded the company in 2010. Wow. And so we've been in business now for 16 years here in Stockton, San Joaquin County. Yeah, it's been remarkable. Is that we have a tremendous product to deliver to the market. And I'm a huge proponent of fair and open contracting, right? I'm not an anti-non-union guy, and we're not a non-union firm. In fact, I'll say some of our best and most renowned trade partners are union shops. Like, we have tremendous working relationships.
Like your subcontractors that you use on a project, right?
Like Collins Electric is a tremendous subcontractor for us. They're a real partner. Comfort Air, HVAC mechanical shop, true partner. I mean, we pick these guys to go into battle with us on private design build stuff, right? Like, not just in the public workspace. Right. And then we also work with them in the public space. And so we're not a non-union, we don't take a non-union approach to this. Again, it's fair and open. What I try to remind our elected officials is that in a time of equity and inclusion, a lot of the buzzwords that they tend to use, or our government likes to throw around, is these PLAs or CWTAs are divisive and segregatory. And I think real leadership today shows itself when they bring both sides together to work for a common good and a consensus. And we're not seeing that, unfortunately. And so we're just, we're trying to keep the market fair and open. And we think that the taxpayer, right? I think that we need to remain a competitive market, and low responsible bids should win, regardless of union or non-union relations, right? So.
No, it's exactly right. And then for the last 6 years, in the macro sense, inflation has been bad. In the construction industry, it's even been worse. The last thing you really want to do is limit the people who are going to be able to bid on your projects. Sure. That is the exact opposite, which is exactly what happens. For a general like you, it means you're getting a different set of subcontractors, some of whom may not sharpen their pencils the way they would have if they'd have known that a Berg Electric or a Helix Electric or a Royal Electric was going to be in there competing for a job. The non-union apprenticeship programs aren't allowed at all. They are explicitly discriminated against, which is incredible. Young men and women that are trying to find a future in the trades, and they're just not allowed at all. Yeah. People don't realize that's a part of
like our partners at ABC NorCal, right? Their apprentices
not allowed at all.
Are prohibited from participating in any of these projects with CWTAs and PLAs. And I do want to mention, we work with the state of California on the employment training panel. 2-year contracts, and we have documented 10,000 hours of on-the-job training through Haggerty Construction in the last 36 months alone of our own staff. So I mean, we're training our guys as well, our men and women.
You're not just hiring people from out in front of Home Depot and
we are not hiring people from out in front of Home Depot. I mean, I'm not going to say we haven't ran into people at Home Depot and they've applied and become employees here, right?
Absolutely.
But no, we're skilled and trained workforce here at Haggerty.
If you weren't, you would not have 16 years of success under your belt, obviously doing work for the county. So they are a customer of yours.
We're working in the jail right now, both the north and the south visitors intake. We're working for other counties and cities as well, right? And what we're really trying to
do at Merced a few years ago, right?
Merced and City of Stockton and others in the area, and we're doing a new ground up animal shelter for the city of Lodi right now. We're doing a 40,000 square foot renovation to the Modesto Library for Stanislaus County right now. We're working directly for UC Davis on a ground up on the campus there. So we work for a lot of different public agencies, and we're trying to make sure we keep our local doors open here for us, right? Local opportunities right within our county, right? We don't want to be prohibited from participating on these San Joaquin County projects by any means.
One of the rationale behind PLAs is the local hire rhetoric that they use. Ironically, they only had a 50% local hire goal, which is extremely low when you consider the size, and it's only a goal.
Yeah, we saw that with City of Stockton's PLA. I think they had a 50%, and I know Moss Adams audited it a few years back, and the results it was a debacle. They're not even close.
It is.
Still not.
The information I just provided, I sent out, you may have seen it, 29.54% was what they were hitting. 29.54%. Exactly what we told them would happen. Because and most people don't know this, in California, like the nation as a whole, and the Central Valley is even higher, 90% of the construction workforce chooses to wake up and work every day in a union-free environment. That's their choice.
That's a real number.
It's a real number.
Let's
say it was only 10%. You're keeping that 10% from being able to bid. That's a significant hit. When it's 90%, and you're losing that potential bid pool, all you're doing is increasing your costs. So in an era of tightening budgets, people are running deficits, school districts, cities, counties, the COVID-free money is over. And now all of a sudden they're considering, Stockton comes out of bankruptcy. One of the first things they do is put a PLA into effect. I mean, I just sit there and I shook my head
No, they have a fiscal responsibility to their constituents to remain competitive and cost sensitive, and these things work directly the opposite.
Tell us about the project you experienced with, was it Stockton or was it Elk Grove? They put it out to bid under a PLA and they didn't get any bidders?
City of Stockton. The Banner Island Ballpark project, the MLB required improvements for the Stockton ports. The City of Stockton has a PLA, right? I believe they have a $1 million threshold.
Yes.
Right? $1 million threshold on their PLA. So that project went out to bid twice, 2 different times. Nobody elected to participate in the bidding process. People showed up at job walks, nobody submitted a bid. And so in the PLA, there's an asterisk at the end of the agreement that afforded city staff to take it to single source the project if they unsuccessfully went to market twice, and they did. And so shortly after the second unsuccessful attempt, they came to us and they single sourced that project. Good for us. Don't know that it's great for the market. Don't know that it's excellent for the city. I mean, let's be honest. Anytime you single source, where's the competitive environment there, right? I'm very grateful. We've been incredibly responsible to the City of Stockton, and we're working really closely with them on wrapping that project up. And we've remained and upheld the highest integrity on that project. And because it's our own city, we've been very friendly and working together very well with them on that. Yeah, I mean, that's an example of a PLA not working. Right, not working.
And if you don't have that protection in it, they would have been absolutely screwed.
Correct.
And that's one thing we do. If you're going to get a PLA, one of our beliefs is at least have some elements in it to protect yourself. Should the PLA fail, which we believe it will. And one of them, for instance, is something like that, or another popular one, relatively speaking, is if you receive 3 or fewer bidders and or the engineer's estimate is exceeded by 10%, it can go out to bid without a PLA. And that has happened numerous times, and just the anecdotal evidence is astonishing. I mean, significant 15 to 20% cost savings when it went out to bid without the PLA. It's like, this is an apples to apples comparison. You cannot argue this. So that's what
there's been some fair joint labor agreements that have been, or some labor agreements that have been proposed, I believe, right, by various entities like ABC NorCal or yourselves.
We have put together something called a fair PLA.
Fair PLAs.
And all the language in it is taken from PLAs that have been approved. So it's not us making up language, it's actual fair language that's been approved. Now it's rare that it's approved, but it has been used. And we say, this isn't us making it up. This is from this PLA, this is from this PLA, this PLA.
And have we been able to get our county supervisors to consider and meet and confer over this?
I've sent that to them and said, this is what my suggestion is, these are your negotiating points. Now, today we were supposed to get an update on what the loggerhead is. We didn't, so I'm curious as to what it is. Is it the core workforce? Is it your guys can keep their benefits and don't have to pay into a union? I wanted to know what it is, but we don't know because they didn't have the discussion today. But
I'm speculating it's probably around the local hire. I know local hire is really, really important to a number of the supervisors.
You think the number's too low?
I would imagine. Yeah,
I agree. I think we should ask for 80%.
Sure.
Again, it's a goal, so it's not like you're arrested if you don't hit it.
Correct.
But if you're going to be aggressive, it's also going to force them to have to include local non-union people to hit that goal. So it's good for everybody.
Sure.
So if that's your concern, in Santa Barbara, fascinating anecdote, the city of Santa Barbara was pushing a PLA, and the whole rhetoric the unions use, I kept the PLA free for 15 years. Finally realized it was going to happen, so we tried to get some language in there, including local hire numbers. We wanted it to be 75 to 80%, because currently that was their number.
Sure.
They were already getting that. The unions came back the day of 40%.
Wow.
And then at the meeting, one of their supporters on the city council said, I want this taken off entirely.
Wow.
She didn't even want it because it was so embarrassing. And we sat there laughing, going, this was the whole rationale behind you wanting this.
Incredible.
Now you're just exposing what this is really all about, which is just give them all the work.
Sure.
But yeah, it went from 80% they were currently hitting without the PLA, the 40% goal, to realizing that looked bad, so they just wanted it all removed. And the other city council member said, I'm going to support the PLA, but we've got to have at least a goal that makes it look like we're trying. It was a really embarrassing moment, but that just shows you what this is really all about.
Sure.
So.
Yeah. Very good.
For the average Joe out there who PLA is an acronym they've never heard, it's a very, it's not a universally understood issue.
Sure.
What would you as an owner say are the key provisions of a PLA just make it difficult to get the subcontractors you need to bid your projects? And even a company like yours, it hurts your ability to provide.
Yeah, they've gotten, the acronyms have made it complicated over the last several years. So PLA, a project labor agreement, also known as CWTAs, community workforce training agreements, really create some very simple limitations to us and our subcontractors in the sense that it limits our core workforce, guys that we can employ on the project. It forces my employees to pay into benefits, fringe benefits that they'll never see the benefit of. And then the third one is that it prohibits us from utilizing our apprenticeship programs such as ABC.
State-approved
apprenticeship programs such as ABC NorCal. Right? So those three things alone make it very complicated for us to participate in these projects.
It's kind of an implicit discrimination. It says, oh, you can bid this, but you have to do this, this, and this. And a non-union contractor is going to look at that and go, that's insane. I can't work with people I don't have a relationship with.